Hey guys, are you a Christmas tree farmer or possibly going to try to be a Christmas tree farmer? And it's tax season. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan the Man with Ralston Acres. Haven't made a video in a while. We've been really busy getting things planted, getting fertilized on, and now it's getting to be April, and April means tax season. Thought I'd talk a little bit about taxes. First of all, let me say this: I am not, definitely not a tax professional. I've had a part of doing my taxes with a tax professional for years and years, but I just thought it was important, especially to those of you maybe who are just getting into the farming, Christmas tree farming, and it's something to consider when you're doing, where am I going to make a profit and this kind of thing. So I thought I might give you a few some little ideas, things to think about as you get ready to prepare your taxes. And maybe you've already done it, and that's good. I like to have mine done long before the April 15th deadline. I just don't like being under that kind of pressure. So anyway, the disclosure again, I am not a tax professional. Whatever you're getting from this video is just opinion. So I thought I'd say I've got it written down right here too, so I won't get too far off base. First of all, you have to determine, and the IRS sort of has a little bit of feelings about this too, whether you're a hobby farmer or whether you're a farmer that's farming for income. Now, I know there's some gray area maybe here. I don't know, but they take a little bit different view of hobby farming. Well, hobby, you don't have to make money on a hobby. It's great if you do, but I mean, you don't have to. It's something you do for recreation. It's something you do for enjoyment, which I know we farm Christmas trees for enjoyment too. But it is definitely something that I know you can make a line and say, okay, I don't care if I make a profit or not. I'm going to enjoy myself in growing Christmas trees. I'm not that way. I like if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to do some farming, and I put all this work into it, I'm going to look to try if I can to make it profitable. So that's sort of the area that I'm going in. Hobby farmers, y'all just have to consult your tax professional and see how she handles that or he handles that. But I'm going to look at this from more of an angle of I'm out here farming and I'm going to make a profit. Another thing that I would suggest is when you're making the determination that okay, I'm going to go into Christmas tree farming and I'm going to do some things that to enhance the farm. I'm going to buy equipment. I'm going to repair equipment. I'm going to buy plants. These are all farm deductions, and when I say farm deductions, these are deductions that you can declare on your taxes or against your income. It reduces your taxable income by they don't tax expenses that are attributed to the farm. Not all expenses, but a lot of them. For example, fertilizer, chemicals that you might use, repair and maintenance of equipment, farm fuel, if you burn fuel. If you have a vehicle that's dedicated, like a truck or something that's dedicated to farm use, you might want to talk to your tax professional about being able to either deduct some mileage or being able to deduct some of the items that you do, like oil changes and fuel and this kind of thing, into that vehicle. Uh, the things like property taxes that you would pay. These are all just examples of possible deductions that you can have against your farm income on your federal taxes. Again, this is just opinion. This is what I'm telling you. Please don't take this. This is free advice, and you get what you pay for it, right? Kind of thing. But I do know there is a Schedule F, which is a particular form IRS schedule that is dedicated to farmers and farming. And whether you do your own taxes or whether you have a tax professional do them, that Schedule F would come into play. Um, but how do you know what numbers to fill in on your Schedule F? Well, my suggestion is you're going to have to keep good farm records. I have a computer that helps me do that. I have a computer program that helps me. I personally use QuickBooks. That's just me, and I've adapted those QuickBooks categories to conform to the things that we would have to keep up with here on the farm. I also some people use Square, some people use Talic or some other Clover, some other point of sale things to keep track of when you're selling your trees in the during the sales season. But software, it can be expensive if you let it. But at the same time, I think, you sort of need that extra help in keeping track of things that you do on the farm. Such, the things that you spend, and I had one good friend of mine. He's old school, and he says, "I'm just going to use a ledger." That's great as long as you are disciplined enough to sit down and write out and keep track of every bit of expense that you use in the production of your product. I think that's a wise thing to do, because if you're like me, you get to the end of the year, okay, you sort of look in January, okay, how profitable was my farm this year? Okay, great, it was profitable. Or, well, I didn't do as well as I thought I should. But how are you going to know unless you keep good farm records? And heaven forbid, if there's ever an audit anywhere, farm records are going to be ultra important to sustaining, or to rather verifying what you claimed on your tax return. Um, you know, the I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get someone that might be uh, good to have for preparing your taxes, a tax professional that is experienced in the farming industry. There are a lot of good CPAs and bookkeepers and tax preparers out there. A lot of great ones. A lot of people have been doing it for years and years and years, and have a lot of more experience than I ever did. But at the same time, I do know that from talking to several of these professionals, that over the years, that the ones that are more experienced in the farming returns are a little more comfortable with the numbers and what you're needing to give them, as opposed to someone who just uh, does taxes for somebody who has a real simple return, or somebody who maybe has a different kind of business. There's a lot of similarities, but there are some differences. There are some things that my tax preparer has brought up to me and said, "Hey, how about this? Have you considered this, or have you kept track of these numbers?" And I wouldn't have ever thought about doing it had I not had someone with some farming uh, returns experience. So that's just a piece of advice. Again, like I said, you get what you pay for. But I just thought that I would bring that up today. I know this is a short video, but at the same, there's not a lot of trees and things like that to see. Yes, I'm here in my office today. I'm waiting on the grass to dry because I've got to get out and do some mowing around the trees today. But uh, the things that I would suggest to you are, number one, keep good records, whether that's with the software that I mentioned, or some other software that you might consider, or just a ledger. Keep good records. Number two, don't put it off. Once your season's over, and okay, I know that tax preparing is going to have to be done by April 15th. Don't wait till April 14th to do it. Do this if you can a little earlier in the season. There are going to be some bad weather days. There'll be some days when you can get in your office or study or whatever, and take care of this. Um, and as soon after the first of the year that you can, because those when the numbers are fresh. Um, And then number three, whoever that tax preparer that you use, whether it's yourself or whether it's somebody else, uh, make sure that they do have a little bit of farm background, or not so much themselves, but that they have prepared taxes for someone with a farm background. Again, you may have a tax preparer that's a CPA, and they've done your taxes for 40 years and you're totally happy with them. That is fantastic. On the other hand, if they look at you and go, "You do what? You do Christmas tree farming? I haven't ever done a return for that." It may be a learning experience for both of you. I don't know. But my point is, record keeping, don't put it off, and use the expertise that you would gain from a tax professional. If you use yourself, that's great, that's fine, but make sure that you get the proper the schedules, the proper information, so that you can fill out your return in a proper manner. Well, that's all I got for today. I know taxes is sort of a short subject, and I know you've heard me talk a lot, but I just felt like that was important, especially to people getting into the farming, into the Christmas tree farming, and maybe they've never done it before. Maybe they've always just had a 1040 or whatever, and then that's all they've done. This is something a little bit different, but take that, and like I said, use that, research it, and if I've done nothing else today but just thrown some nuggets out there to pique your interest in in getting your tax returns in the best professional manner that you can get them. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Farming Around the Christmas Tree.